entrepreneur who was raised in Danville, Virginia. After achieving his childhood dream of becoming an NFL sports agent, Xavier started a federal funding agency to support people in need by working with members of Congress to help nonprofit hospitals, schools, cities, and counties secure millions of dollars for healthcare, for education, for broadband internet, housing, economic development, and much more. Xavier Warren has the proven experience to lead an equitable economic recovery for all Virginians. And without further ado, Xavier.
Hello, Mount Vernon. Glad to be here. Happy Black History Month. Happy Mardi Gras. When this event got on my calendar, I made sure I pull out my tuxedo for you all. So glad to see all the beautiful faces and also the mask as well. I'm Xavier Warren, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor because we're in a COVID-19 crisis. We're in a racial crisis, a climate crisis, and an economic crisis. Hundreds of small businesses have closed, and many more are still dying weekly. Thousands of folks have lost their jobs and are now unemployed. 1 in 3 people have taken a salary pay cut. 1 in 4 people do not have enough food on the table to eat. Tragically, these many folks are children. Women have dropped out of the workforce at an 8-time higher rate than men, and many of us are being evicted from our homes and our apartments. See, the lieutenant governor position is a business position that focuses on generating economic development, advancing entrepreneurship, and also creating jobs. What makes me different than all the other candidates that's running is I am actually an entrepreneur that has a hands-on business experience to lead a more equitable Virginia economy. See, I've witnessed firsthand what an economic downturn can do. I'm from Danville, Virginia, Pennsylvania County. And when textiles shipped their jobs overseas and tobacco started to decline, what followed was 30,000 people lost their jobs. And the majority of those folks fell below the poverty line, and the education attainment rate dropped lower than the state and also national level. See, I watched so many people leave due to lack of financial opportunity, and I was encouraged to do as well. So I went to a historically Black college and university, Hampton University. And for someone coming from a working class family, my dad was a maintenance mechanic and my mom was a buyer analyst. I had to work in retail, clothing, shoe store, just to even pay for books. And when graduation came, my commencement speaker was President Barack Obama. He challenged my classmates and me to lead the change we want to see in America and become the next generation of leaders. I furthered my education at Georgetown University to gain my master's. And even there, I also had to work as a restaurant server. And I never forget the day that Congressman John Lewis walked into the restaurant and sat at my table. As someone that was working off tips, when it came for him to pay his bill, I refused for him to accept his money. I told him, I said, Congressman, it's time for my generation to start paying our dues for what you have done for people like me, especially a Black man of color, but also the positive impact you have had on American history in general. It's time for us to step up. So after graduating, I achieved my childhood dream, became an entrepreneur, grew a very successful sport agency, and started representing a bunch of NFL players. But I never forgot what my mother taught me. And she said, never forget where you come from. So I started another successful business, helping to get federal funding to help support folks in need, to be able to feed people, house people, educate people, and create jobs for people. See, I believe we need to increase economic opportunities, not only for the thousands of folks who lost their jobs and employment due to COVID, but also for our small towns and rural areas losing their main streets. By increasing our economic base, we could fund important initiatives such as vaccine distribution, affordable housing, broadband internet access, and also help combat climate change. I'm your candidate that can actually accomplish exactly that because I've proven the track record to get millions of funding to do those exact things. Please visit Xavier4Virginia.com to learn more.